when I see a founder very proud of something they've coded, that's great, it's cool. We can probably redo it for you and make it enterprise ready. So it's not an issue. What is most interesting and what I think founders can and should be doing, scrappy thing, is really, it's exactly what you said, is thinking through the market. Where I do think you can use AI in your business development is analyzing that market. If you start having a fleet of agents start doing multi-channel outreach, it's cool to say out loud and it's probably fun to build, but I have no idea, I don't think anybody really knows yet how that's going to actually drive business for you, especially in the beginning. But what is probably going to be very helpful is, we primarily invest in DB as well, we build DB. And so it's not that hard to actually think through how big is your market, how many companies are there that do this, and then actually start mapping them. And with AI, you can actually map them. You can actually start creating information about all of those companies. You can start using tools to actually find contact information and start thinking through your funnel. That, I think, is powerful. And I think when I see a founder that's actually thinking through that, what that tells me is they actually know how to think about this correctly, regardless of the tooling. And the tooling just makes it easier, right? Now it's about putting those pieces together, then figure out your outreach. And yeah, manual is probably going to be better. Personalization is going to be important. A little bit of automation is fine, but you really need to make sure that it's authentic. Because in the beginning, authenticity is the only thing that you really have to say in your sphere, so that as people begin to look you up, they have something. So what he did is he created a series of agents that basically follow his commit history and know what he's been working on every day, and then they write posts about summarize those posts on LinkedIn about his work in his own voice, and then he follows up to add the authenticity. So he's basically just created an automatic pipeline of here's all the cool things I'm doing, and he doesn't have to think too hard about it. So I thought that was pretty clever.
We do that too for our linear tickets for our investor updates.
Yeah. So when that goes bad, it goes really, really bad. So if I'm not feeling some sort of camaraderie, some way of that being a good working relationship, that is a problem. And the easiest way for a founder to make sure that that isn't happening is to treat me like a person. Exactly what you said. When somebody shows up and say, we want to get involved, and they're like, I just want to check, or they start powering through the deck, exactly like you said, it doesn't leave much for the actual relationship. Years ago, I was in an accelerator for fundraising. Something I took away from that was really cool was your first interaction with an investor should probably be about 5 minutes long, and that's it. And your job in that 5 minutes is to get them to ask you a question and get them to say they'd like to follow up with you. If you can do that, you're on the right path. I'm not telling you to do that to me, but I mean, it's really cool.
So we're gonna have a lot of 5-minute meetings right after this.
Yeah.
Guys, but they're people, right? They always say, "Where's the VC?" They don't ask, "How's the VC?"
But yeah, I think that's the red flag, and then the green flag is, if things are going well, it's an openness to feedback. So my job in that call, especially if you pull out a deck, is to pick at you. It's to challenge what you're saying and see how you react to that. And if the reaction to that is, no, I know exactly what I'm doing, we're not doing business. If you can justify it and help me understand or ask me some questions to prove me wrong in that conversation in a good way, that's great. That at least tells me, one, you're open to feedback, and two, that you know what you're talking about. UEB launched a little over a year ago, so we're new to the scene as well. And so, our first few investments were new for us. We were somewhat experienced. And so we ended up having to have a difficult conversation months into an investment with a founder because we weren't on the same page. And it comes back to exactly what we were talking about. Be very clear about the relationship we're getting into. And it was absolutely something that we probably could have gotten ahead of much sooner than we did. And in the end, we had to completely redefine the working relationship with that founder. So that was a very difficult conversation because it is very much a relationship, and it's never going to have to backtrack into that.
My question to you guys is, why Philadelphia?
Because my wife did not let me.
Philly is an amazing place to start a business, and it comes down to the fact, and I think it's great that we're starting to see this pick up now, and it's kind of crazy that it's taken this much effort to do that. We have an amazing, so I'll speak from a B2B perspective because that's what I know, but I think it translates. We have an insane tech talent pool here. We have amazing enterprises that are just in our backyard, and it goes well beyond the Comcast and Boomies of the world. Not that they aren't amazing, but there are a lot of CEOs in this region that put their heads down and do amazing work, building incredible companies, having incredible exits, which means we have talent, we have know-how, we have capital, and we have amazing universities churning out people like you that we should be able to pull this all together. All it's going to take is exactly what we're doing right now. Just coming together and having these conversations. And so if you want to build, these are the raw ingredients, right? We've got talent, we've got tech, we've got opportunity for sales, we've got people willing to be involved, and now we're starting to pull that together. And I can't think of anything else you would really need, except for maybe customers, but those things lead to that. So yeah, absolutely.
My question for the panelists, specifically the investors, what does investor ready mean to you for pre-revenue startups?
I think you're starting to hit a lot of the boxes. Traction, regular revenue, having a clear, succinct business definition. What you just did was a phenomenal pitch. I immediately understood what you do. I'm hearing something like that moves wrong. That's pretty cool. So I think if I would, yeah, I want to talk to you, and I think it comes down to understanding.
Me first.
Yeah, there you go. So investor ready really is just what it's going to come down to. Why do you need this money? I mean, you were talking about this before. Why do you need money now? If you're getting good traction, and what are you going to do with it? And does it really help you or hurt you at this point? And so I can't answer that question. I think it just comes down to you having a clear understanding of that. I wouldn't just go for investment out the gate, especially if you're getting traction right now. Also, how do you make money would be a good question to ask. So, you need an answer.